Hey guys, Carl from TDG here, coming in with episode 6 of the Schedule 1 playthrough. Today we're going to be aiming to make some upgrades to the operation, which you're going to be seeing right from the beginning, as well as actually working to formulate some actual goals to keep us organized moving forward. The first scene here you can actually see, I was looking to do the meetup that we have here with Albert, and I seemingly missed it in between the last episode and this one, probably due to sleep and just not keeping track of the timing. During this meetup, we ended up buying 16 perp seats to get ourselves funded, and then bam, we run over and grab the golden skateboard. Now I will tell you, you would think that this is an upgrade to start off with, and I left in a couple of scenes there where you could just see I drastically struggled to figure out how to use this thing. Then we run around for our first sales of the night, making the quick one to Geraldine, 2 more fat Urkels to Peter, and then to Ludwig, and then securing a sale to Mick for 2 more extreme cheese for $250. And while we were waiting to make that sale to Mick, we secure another $250 sale to Kim and another one for $150 to Keith. And while we're running back and forth in between all these sales, running back to resupply, we're making sure they're keeping everything planted, everything fertilized, PGR added, and keeping everything organized to keep us moving in the right direction here. Running out, completing these last 2 sales to Keith and to Kim, and then working on hitting some packaging up for the night. And I'm not going to lie, while we were doing this, I had the thought of there has to be a better way. There has to be a quicker way to get this done. And lo and behold, we ran to the store the next day. Voila, here we go. We're automated, baby. And let me tell you something, when I started using this, oh my God, did this speed up the process. This was unbelievable. I mean, seriously, the increase in the speed was just incredible. And it's something that I started to realize a little bit later in the play session, was that the game always felt like there was one more step needed to do. There was always one last thing to get done before logging off or ending the day. And something I think the game is doing beautifully is it's just finding little bits of ways to reduce the level of friction, keeping you engaged for a long period of time to do, like in the background, you're seeing the plants getting done. It doesn't ever feel overwhelming. It doesn't feel like a slog, like there's something that I have to get done. It's just a small point to start continuing to work towards, continue to just building up for the next task that you have to get done. I don't know, it feels really good, and it's been a really, really fun process so far. Something that I've actually looked forward to playing every day. And I could say that is something that I have not had from games in a while. So anyway, at this point I decided I was really going to start to focus on trying to build up some supply to start giving out to the dealers, Molly and Benji. And it was going to be really something where I was going to start putting some focus on some goals, starting to look to upgrade and increase my space. As you can probably see from the gameplay, things started to become really cramped. I had shelves everywhere, the mixing stations, the packaging stations, everything was basically on top of each other, organized to best of my ability, but just kind of felt a little squished. So I started to really focus on what were the goals that we could make. 6,000 on the card seemed like the next plausible goal, as we could use that to start funding the purchase for the bungalow, which I'm going to start referring to going forward as the house. With that being said, we ran out to make our sales for the night, going out to Joyce, Peter, Geraldine, Ludwig, for a total of 7 extreme cheese and a fat Urkel. We were running low throughout the process on some of this, so I ran back to pick up some of that extreme cheese, and then running back to make some more of the products that we needed. And following that, we ran to the store, pick up some mouthwash, motor oil, energy drinks, and Viagra to start messing around with some new mixes. And then we headed back over to throw some of the perp with some energy drinks to get some strawberry shart going, and then heading over after we secure a sale to Peter to check out what the actual price of the house was going to be, confirming that it would actually be $6,000, taking that strawberry shart and mixing it with some mouthwash to see what the new product was going to be, and then securing some more sales to Geraldine as well as to Ludwig. And then that got me thinking. I never actually checked to see what the traits were for the fat Urkel and the extreme cheese, but I'd have to imagine that they were probably pretty high with addiction. And as I said before, we started to continue messing around with some of these combinations. So the energy drink and mouthwash combination ended up yielding us BioBud with the traits of munchies, athletics, and baldings. And I won't lie, that was actually pretty funny to me. Just the thought of like giving your customers some weed and all of a sudden having their hair literally start falling out while they're running away. Really had me laughing. And like I was saying earlier, we're going to really focus on expanding the operation. So I took this as an opportunity to start buying new shelving, get everything organized. This way I could really start stacking up and stocking up on the baggies, the soil, and all the growing materials that I needed, as well as all the materials I needed for sales coming up. Another mix that we ended up getting was mouthwash, yielding us some Island Bud, with sedating and balding. We took that and we mixed it up with some motor oil, which I believe actually gave me Stinky Ghost, which had sedating, balding, and slippery as its traits. After we completed that, we ended up venturing out to make our sales for that night, and this is where things took a turn for the worst. Remember when I said I was struggling to use the skateboard earlier? Well, it's about to become a large issue. So in that same spot from one of the earlier videos, we end up running into the same trouble, where I just cannot seem to get into a good spot to make the deal with Peter without getting noticed. We quickly become under arrest, which faster than that happened becomes wanted. We start trying to avoid all of the police. Cruisers coming out of nowhere actually tried to run me off the road at one point, and then would you believe these guys start pulling out tasers? I didn't even know tasers were in the game. Luckily, they were trained by the same people who trained the stormtroopers, and they couldn't land a shot to save their lives. Yeah, that was short-lived. They smacked me with a taser as I go to turn the corner, and busted. Anyway, leave a comment down below, like and subscribe if you want more, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.